Okay, today I'm going through the hardest thing that happened in Q2 of my first year. So this is winter time, and I'm about to head out tonight, and I'm already kind of, I guess, a little bit late to hang out with my friends. But I mean, I think growing up, I don't feel as much pressure to be out and about. So that kind of ties into what it was like in my first year. Being social was one of the most difficult things. And I kind of alluded to that in my last video about how, I spent my time. And it's interesting when you wake up in the middle of your life is that you actually that I wear all the time. Um, like I already came into the world with a social system, but it was really hard for them because I was going through so much and I didn't know myself. So I think it was really hard for them to understand me too, right? Like the condition is so challenging and I'm still discovering myself. I'm still trying to understand my disabilities. I'm trying to figure out how to ask for my needs as someone who is experiencing things that are happening inside me. And so that was certainly very hard. But I think it was around winter time that I actually discovered that I had emotional blindness. Basically, that I didn't understand that I was having feelings or what other feelings other people were having. So I think at the time it was actually my partner at the time who was like, Jing, you're depressed. It's very distracting. Jing, you're depressed. You need to go get help. And that was just a moment that lives with me very deeply because I didn't I knew what it was when they told me it, but I didn't realize that was what I was experiencing. And so from there, I started being a lot more in tuned to the fact that I could potentially be feeling things, but I'm not sure. And that's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout my healing journey, but something that's now almost automated inside me when it comes to solving for things. I don't get to the mindset of solving until my second year of life, but now I'm being introduced to the concept of you don't know things. That's already clear to me that I don't know things, but like specifically what I really don't understand. And so for me, my very first emotion was depression, and then understanding what that was and processing that. So sadness, which makes sense because if you lose your whole life, there's a lot to grieve. There's a lot of, sad parts about being disabled. There's a lot of sad parts about not being able to do things that your peers are able to. There's a lot of sad parts about not being able to, articulate your problem, feeling misunderstood, realizing that you're different, but not anything visible. So, in order for people to maybe share empathy or be patient with you, you would need to be able to articulate it. And if you can't, because that's the nature of your condition, there's a lot of sadness in that. So, as I say it right now, I'm able to explain it. And that was a lesson I learned throughout time as well, is that in order for me to be successful or to ensure that my condition didn't take me over, is that I had to learn how to communicate for myself, but that takes time. So yeah, I guess in many ways this one's a short one because I have to get going. But I guess something that's encouraging is that that, and maybe like a tip is to learn how to feel. And I'll even say this many years out, there are still some feelings that I don't understand well. And because I discovered that I started my life without like an awareness of feelings, I actually technically have more confidence in my ability to control them sometimes. Because once I know that they're happening, then I can decide what I want to do with them. And something that's hopefully encouraging is that feelings don't last forever. You're like, once you feel happy, you don't feel like happy all the time. Once you feel sad, you don't feel sad forever. You have a choice in how you feel. And so it's okay to feel whatever you're feeling and processing it. But, help yourself determine which direction you want to go with emotion. And then also kind of jumping ahead, I can't help it because now I know, is that it's so important to feel. That's something that differentiates us from other, I guess, sentient beings, is that, that's what makes us alive. That's what makes life so rich. And because I was so robotic in the beginning of my life, that I didn't always feel alive. And that was something, by the way, I could also talk about being a constant struggle for many years, actually, was knowing that I wasn't fully alive, that people were experiencing things that was like rich to their lives that I couldn't feel or experience because my brain couldn't process it, right? Like going outside or like when people were having food, they would be enjoying it and be so excited. And it's like, I can't share in that excitement. One part because I can't smell or taste, two part because I don't understand excitement. And then also, this is crazy too. At that time, there's so much learning going on. I am very, very clear to what is a learned behavior and not a learned behavior. So at that time, like I didn't have humor, I didn't have a personality, I didn't laugh, stuff like that. Like I did, but I didn't. It sounded so unnatural to people. They're like, it sounds like you're fake laughing because I didn't know how. And so, yeah, that's something we can get to later. But either way, I'm so grateful that right now, like I mentioned, I'm going to go spend some time with some friends. We're celebrating a new job. Woo! Proud, proud of my friends. A friend in this case. And that's love. People showed me that when you show up for someone, when you celebrate in their successes, that is love. And yeah, so I'm so happy now that I get to participate in that and share that with someone else. And I encourage you to do the same. So remember that however you feel right now, if it's crummy, that it's not going to be forever. It could feel like very repetitive and you're like, I'm over it. But a corny thing that technically, whatever, let's just jump ahead, is a motto that I live by is optimism is the foundation for courage. So do what you will with that info and we'll get to it later. All right, have a good weekend. Bye.